couldn't afford to stop and go. I had to stay consistent. Made up my mind that no matter what, I gotta win. That's why it's always me and never them. One shot for everybody living in the moment. One shot is all you get, so you gotta own it. One shot. You only get one shot. One shot for everybody.
The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather, and we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Today we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Gotta like that start. 14 yards to get him going.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
On first down, Rodgers. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass. So that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
And a confidence builder for them, and an absolute shock for the quarterback, because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the first down. And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Falcons at 2-4 here in the first half of the year. They come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
Down inside the 10, and down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there at 22. First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll run with Cook. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. A shotgun snap, Fields. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Thomas. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a third and goal.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
A big play forthcoming. Here's third and goal. Cook. Touchdown. Touchdown, Falcons. Able to punch it in on third down. Makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a fourth down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And the interception on that opening drive winds up leading to the touchdown, so now it's kind of time to start over.
Yeah, it certainly is, and his first throw of the game. But I like the way his guys rallied around him. Oftentimes, the quarterback is the leader, right? He tells everyone what to do. In this case, I noticed his linemen around him kind of patting him, saying, "Let's go, big boy. You're still our leader."
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Jet sweep. Here's Watson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
All right, rifles one, that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
And they're certainly not giving much up to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Play action. It's Fields. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Fields. He's going deep for Brown. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. The partner, they found a gap there in the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do, because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Carlson down to add the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you...
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Justin Reed. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
Now think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. Fields going to keep it running right. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that'll make this 17-0 here in the opening quarter. So the interception set him up a terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. 17-0 our score after 1. Second and 9 from the 44. Rodgers going to throw. That is caught by Josh Oliver, the former San Jose State Spartan. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be second and a couple. Rodgers now to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Anthony Averett picks it. There he goes, right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown.
Wow, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick-6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders is not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick-6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. From just inside the 20, a short kick. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
And they are right at the 500 mark on the year and got there with a victory a week ago.
And I think right now I put myself in the shoes of the head coach and say, all right, time to reset a little bit. And I don't give my team a win one for the Gipper speech. But I do say, look, we haven't played our best football yet, but we are at 500 and we're still in it. Let's try and string a few of these victories together, and we're capable of doing so.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Throwing is Rodgers.
That's complete to Peoples-Jones.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Jerry Tillery. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front seven defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out, because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
A good head-down running on the return gets about 15 yards. And it will be Falcon football.
About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They start the drive with Cook. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On play action, Fields.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
4th down, so they send out Trenton Gill.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And now here's another interception.
And the Falcons are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. On 2nd and 11 now, Fields. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Off play action, Fields.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Now here's Trenton Gill now.
We'll call that a 41-yard punt. The net a little greater, though, following a loss on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now it's Rodgers. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. Myers' kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we are at halftime here in Atlanta with the Falcons out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the 2nd half gets underway. This fielded right at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Falcons take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Starting the 3rd quarter with Cook. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Fields. Thomas brings it in. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A play fake. Now Fields to throw. Steps away. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Back to the air. Fields on 2nd down. He's going deep for Brown. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the Bucsons are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
Rodgers throw into the hands of Pitts here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 46. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Hunt will try going up the middle as he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hunt. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. On play action, now Rodgers.
Finds his receiver, Watson. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is third down. Here's Rodgers to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Rodgers to throw for it on fourth. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bucs try it on fourth down to come up empty. And the Falcons' defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons' offense at the line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Here's Fields. He finds his man, Sky Moore.
And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields.
And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Incomplete, right side to Cook.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
It's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Moore, the man in motion.
Throwing again is Fields.
A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers.
And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones.
Only able to gain a couple there. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bucs on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14. Here's Rodgers. And he's taken down. Back in his own 7. Jalen Phillips able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They're in control here as they start 1st and 10 and appearing to have righted the ship following that 2-game losing streak. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, did a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll run it. Here's Cook. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Touchdown, Falcons. Dalvin Cook with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Falcons look like they're about to put an end to their 2-game losing streak as they add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Very short kick, taken right at the 20. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and 3rd and 1 now. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try to run for the first down with Hunt. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Giving to the big tight end on 4th. He only needed a yard, but he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. From the 36, Fields. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 22 yards there, a first down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This is caught. And he's brought down. Now Fields. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Fields going to hold on to it. And this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. But here we go on 4th down. Fields. And it'll be intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it, and the Buccaneers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Finding room at midfield. Loose inside the 30. Inside the 10. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
On 3rd down, here's Hunt. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now Rodgers got to have this one. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Aaron Rodgers taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Buccaneers are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
The defense was almost too good on that play. They took away all of his targets. The one thing they forgot, to account for him as a runner. And he's able to tuck it and go for the end zone and get it done.
Rodgers will throw for it. It's complete. And he'll get in. And they're going to draw themselves 2 points closer. And, of course, on the 2-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. Now it looks like he'll throw here. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
No surprise there. He was looking for one of his favorite targets again as soon as he left the pocket. But the coverage was good downfield. They got right to the receiver and helped prevent that completion.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going deep for Brown.
Oh, Fields is intercepted for a third time. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the Bucs force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter, trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Kelvin Joseph.
Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get them next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in the air, you become receiver and defensive back. You got to go compete for the ball so you don't get another one picked off.
Play action. It's Fields.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Harrison Smith.
And the Buccaneers are going to get it back here just past the 35.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that.
And now here is another interception.
And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
No, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for Atlanta, they fall a game under 500 now at 3 up and 4 down. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Chicago Bears next week. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they fall.
I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. I pull the sword out the border, walk a floor full of cobras. Go to war with you all, we can brawl toe to toe. I can tighten loops in my lace and make lightning lose in a race. I make fire cool and come back from the triangle in Bermuda. I can suit up, live in the moon up, working and outsmarting computers. I can outswim all the tuna, and that's without a scuba. So in the laws of nature, I'm breaking the rules. Only thing I'm bad at is being a loser. I can make time traveling a surprise, make graveyards feel alive. Break the immortal down to his demise. Look up and beam to the stars so you can turn off the lights. I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. Tonight I hunt with the pride. You can't take my pride away. I can sing with the birds and the trees in the morning, or roll like the storms way over the ocean. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. Even on the days when I'm late as ever, my timing is right. Even in the darkest moments, they close, I'm that shining the light. I can make an earthquake nervous, I can make the sun wear a visor. I can make a wise owl see me as a daily advisor. I'm that cool shade, peaceful night, and still my breath is a storm, I bet. I can make the thunder clap when I perform. It's just that in the laws of nature, I'm breaking the rules. Only thing I'm bad at is being a loser. time traveler surprise. Make graveyards feel alive. Break the immortal down to his demise. I make the moon blue, I'm making pigs fly. Now I move mountains. I would've beaten the heart of a crash test dummy. I'm more so astounded. Yeah. Look up and beam to the stars so you can turn off the lights. I do the impossible, impossible. Impossible, impossible.
Yeah, alright, my flow sinister. This ain't rap music, this straight literature. Small-minded, all your ideas miniature. They tend to hate on you when they can't get rid of you. I ain't going nowhere, 20-year career minimum. Call Hit Boy for beats, ask for 10 of them. I don't follow trends, I swing the pendulum. If the bag good, I'm gon' give her some. Let's reflect times, I try to collect minds from complex rhymes. And by the way, shout out Tech 9. Go and shut the up, just let me talk. I'm a time bomb that's waiting to go off. Quite nuclear, amazing what fame could do to you. Too peculiar, although I'm truly a renaissance starter. My mind divine, it take me a lot farther. Growing up, I really had beef with my father. But why bother explaining my feelings? Try harder, but either way they gon' paint you the villain. 8 months with no phone, dog, we aiming for brilliance. High level maintaining the building, we making a killing. Alright, my flow sinister.